find it's easier coming from this way. It's right on the apex, so it's going to be easier for you to come down that way than it is over there, but whatever works for you. I'll grab the second metatarsal for the counter traction. This comes onto the cuneiform. She leans back, find it, thrust it. Alright, so it's same thing again. Yeah? No difference. This next one though is a little dangerous.
Nice.
Okay. The metatarsal base has gone dorsal on the middle cuneiform. Right. Now what happens is with this, as that comes dorsal, the head drops down, so you get this sort of thing happening. And what they complain of is metatarsalgia. Now the problem is if this stays for any length of time, you start stressing the bone. This is where stress fractures of the metatarsal come from. Because this shouldn't be taking weight, should it? When I step forward, what happens is the weight goes on the big bones. It goes along the lateral foot. That's why you've got such a huge fifth metatarsal base. It's massive. That weight comes right the way along that fifth metatarsal, and then as my weight shifts, and we'll talk about the gait later on, but as my weight shifts over, it jumps from the fifth metatarsal base and head straight over to the first metatarsal. And if you look at our first metatarsal, it's massive. Like a 600 or 700 pound mountain gorilla's first metatarsal is nothing like the size of ours because they don't do this. So we've got these massive bones. So when the ones in between, notably the second one, starts taking weight, it's a little tiny fragile thing and it breaks. You get stress fractures. So the sooner you can get this thing shifted, the less risk there is of like long-term problems here. Now, what I'm going to do is, basically it's the same technique again, all right? My hypothenia comes onto the base of the second metatarsal, she leans back and I thrust down, but there's an add here. As I thrust down on the base, I lift up on the head. So what I'm doing is that. Yeah?
What could go wrong?
Yeah. The big problem here is, it's okay if you do this right. If you do it wrong, you risk fracturing the bone. If your thrust isn't on the base, but on the shaft of the metatarsal, that's when you run into trouble. Right? You'll just snap it like a twig. Right? Not the best thing in the world to do. So make sure you're as high up on the base as you can. I'd rather you screwed this up and actually thrust the the cuneiform further down. Made the dysfunction worse rather than the other. Right? So that's all it is. You lean back, she leans back, hypo on the base of it, there. Then as I thrust, it's that movement. Okay?
No.
Not yet.
Right? But it
We
is,
still have to practice.
use your body, it's that movement. Okay?
The right hand is underneath.
It's got the metatarsal base, it's pulling it as you traction. Yeah. So all I do is that with this hand. There's a tip sideways. All right? All right, go and do that and see if you can break anything.